Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This is a viewer requested video, and I'm actually, excited to get into this topic because it has not been, really addressed heavily on my channel. So, and it is an important aspect of, or a possible aspect of NPD, or a person that has NPD. And that's really talking about substance abuse as well. All right, so this is a viewer requested video, and this came through Facebook. Someone that is a part of the support group. And if you have not joined the Facebook support group, you definitely have an invitation to do that. That link is below most of my videos. You just simply touch it. It'll take you right to the page and you can request me. I do ask that you inbox me and let me know that you are a survivor, because I have hundreds of requests, but I know that most of those ones are random ones. All right, so just inbox me and let me know you're a survivor, and you'll go ahead and be included in the support group. All right, so let's get into this viewer requested video. I'm opening up my Facebook inbox right now so that we can go over what the survivor is, basically relaying, or the circumstances here. And it's a lot going on. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I'm going to put this in my own words here to help it be more clear for you, because there's a lot of messages here, and this particular scenario has a lot going on. So basically, we have a male survivor here that was dealing with a female narcissist in a romantic relationship, and they got all the way up to being engaged. He even went and took a loan out for her engagement ring, and he also took out a mortgage for a home for her and her children. But what he was telling me is, basically, when he met this woman, she had 37 cents to her name, and she was strung out on using a drug called meth. All right. And he basically tried to save her. He took her under his wing and provided for her. He let me know that one of her family members tried to discourage him from giving her that opportunity at having a relationship with him, saying that she would surely ruin his life, and he needs to move on with it. He did not take heed to that warning, and later he did find out that she was actually still legally married to a man that married her when she was 16 years old, but that was currently when they had met in jail for selling meth. Okay. And it actually gets a little deeper here. He says this man and her were separated because the man left her for her own sister, which he conceived a child with as well. So at this point, he's in this relationship with this woman, and they get engaged, and he buys this home for her. And 17 days after moving into the home, she discards him and goes back to her husband. Her husband gets released from jail. So she decides to go back with him. Now, her ex-husband gave her the meth and also gave her heroin, according to this male survivor. Okay, all right, excuse me. He married her sister, who was 16 years old. So the survivor is calling him a pedophile, of course, and a drug dealer, and a bad man. Let me just keep skimming here. And he's saying, after this whole situation, it made him suicidal at one point, and, it devastated his finances. And of course, it's broke his heart. he's saying he's confused as to why. Hold on, let me just read this. He doesn't understand why he was the evil bad guy. All right, because she had friends and family, we'll use friends loosely, that weren't there for her when he was first dealt with her. Like he said, she had 37 cents to her name and she was down and out, and he did all these things to try to help her. And now that the relationship is over, these friends and families have resurfaced, and they're all, thinking he's the bad guy, and he doesn't understand that. Well, let's just intercept that first question right there. I'm confused as to why I was the evil bad guy if they left her for dead. Okay, so she is, making him the scapegoat, making him the bad guy. And, her family members are basically the golden child at this point, or her flying monkeys, minimally, right? So what I was explaining to him is she is doing a smear campaign, of course. She's doing a smear campaign against you, or, this survivor, this male survivor. And I'm sure she is painting that horrible picture. And, by the time a narcissist gets done with this smear campaign against a survivor, people listening to that, if they eat it up, if they take it as the truth, if they don't question it, if they just, accept it, of course they're going to look at you as the evil bad guy. She's going to project the things that she was doing onto you and your persona and your character. All right. And he's saying he had her back 10,000%. And he told me to explain that part if I dare. So I just explained why you are made out to look like the evil bad guy. The narcissist, they don't want to take accountability. They just don't want to do that. And they have to find someone to put the blame on and to paint out to be the villain. So that's what she did. Let me just continue through these messages here. And he said, after all of that, he doesn't possess a gram of hate. Okay. And I let him know, it was always going to be his fault. And a lot of time, birds of feather flock together. So, I've hung out with narcissists and their friends and even some of their family members, and I see, the similar traits, So a lot of times, like I said, birds of the same feather flock together. All right. All right, so let me keep going here. He says, so me saving her made her into an enemy and could have got me killed, and a pedophile predator is okay. It's because I'm black and they're white. So, there's interracial dating here, or an interracial relationship going on. And he's of ethnic, or he's a black man. And he feels like that was something that went against him in this whole situation, because they're embracing her current husband. Even though he's a drug dealer, even though he married her sister and had a child with her. So, at that point, the survivor has to really consider the source and the kind of people he's dealing with here. They all may be trash, not just, unfortunately, your ex-fiance and her husband. But, the people in their circle may be similarly minded, and like I was just saying a few moments ago. All right. So his question is, so they won't feel their faults or imperfections or wrongs. They actually have very low self-esteem. Right. They won't. And then he says she wanted a fresh start and a new place in her first apartment. I gave her all that. This is her past. And I was letting him also know that narcissists run off of emotions. You know, they say things in the moment and they live moment to moment. So then he gave me a little background of this woman and said that she was raped at the age of 5. And by the age of 14, she was smoking weed and cigarettes and drinking. By the age of 16, she was doing crack and was married. So it was her, not her sister, that was 16. And was a heroin addict. All right. And by 21, she had 2 kids, and then she was using meth. She gave both of her children up to family members. All right. And then he met her when she was 26. So, you know, she's had a troubled life, a very dysfunctional life that's full of, you know, addiction and abuse. All right. And he says she told me that all these people wanted to kill, rape, and torture her in the town. She is now the happiest blonde ever. So the same area that she said was a nightmare for her, she's now embracing it and thriving, and everything's all good. So I just, you know, this woman is damaged. You know, she clearly hasn't done any shadow work. She's still in the midst of her addictions. You know, she's still battling it. And I won't even say she's battling it, because she's not fighting it. She's not trying to get away from it. She's still welcoming it. You know, she's not taking any accountability. So he doesn't understand why she would choose to go back to her meth selling ex-husband as opposed to trying to start a fresh life with him and, you know, get better. You know, he's saying he's had to file a bankruptcy now. Like, he's just going through a lot behind this situation. But the whole thing is, you know, when a person is strung out on drugs, when a person is caught up in substance abuse of any kind, they have to want to change their lifestyle. And clearly this woman is not in the place of even acknowledging that she wants to change. I mean, she might have said she wanted a fresh start, but everything in her actions said otherwise. Everything in her actions said otherwise. So the reason why I wanted to do this viewer requested video, and I know we kind of went all the way around the world here as I'm, you know, deciphering everything that he has said here, which was a lot going on. We haven't really addressed substance abuse. But if we want to really think about this, you know, NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder, is a mental disorder. So if we could see a correlation to why would someone with NPD want to get hooked on a substance of any kind? Why would they want to indulge in a drug or alcohol or something that is going to take their mind away from them? Well, NPD is basically a mental disorder where someone is covering up their deep-seated insecurities with fantasies. Okay? And, you know, in their fantasies, they're important and they're behaving oblivious and unconcerned. So if someone is high off of a drug or a substance, they're kind of able to escape into a fantasy as well, because this is what they're getting a feel of when they are high, you know? So when someone wants to escape like that, and they have all these deep-rooted insecurities and all this negativity in their true selves, we're not talking about the false self or the victim that she tries to play for her friends and family, but who she really is on the inside. These drugs and these alcohols are, in her mind, is medicating her. It's soothing her in some way. It's a comfort to her. It's an escape from everything that she's been through. I mean, when we just went through her being raped and, all these horrible things that have happened to her in her childhood, not raising her children, having no stability, and, all the bad influences around her as well. This is a reason why a narcissist may turn to drugs and alcohol. They're trying to escape. Even that false persona isn't enough. And then, they just happen to get on it and then get hooked. Like literally get hooked. So why would she want to still be with her current husband? Well, he has the drugs as well. I mean, he has the drugs, and that's where she wants to be, and that's the realm of reality, and that's the level of life that she wants to be functioning on. Why not stay with the husband that deals the meth and can get her heroin, and that's not going to encourage her to change or put a mirror to her face? She can, continue to stay on drugs. Why would she want to leave that setup if she's not sincerely trying to make a change? I'm sorry that she played with your time, basically, and gave you false hopes, but did she really give you false hopes? Is what we're going to have to consider here on, the accountability aspect with you. Because, like you said, when you met her, she had 37 cents to her name, and she was strung out on drugs at that point. So your judgment in taking her serious or deeming her appropriate and ready to be able to be taken serious, to be able to be made into a wife, and perhaps you thought you could love her into a better place, that your love and care and understanding this would, uplift her consciousness and make her suitable. And it didn't. So you prematurely, in my opinion, and obviously based off of the aftermath here, you prematurely made moves with her, and she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. She hadn't even tried to give up the drugs. I don't see anything in here in your messages that was telling me, other than her just telling you she wanted a fresh start, but, saying it and doing it are two different things. Did she even go a week without drugs? I highly doubt it. I don't even think she went a day. Did she ever even go a day? Like, did she try any programs? You're the one that went into therapy. She didn't. You did. She didn't go into a facility. She didn't do anything to get herself clean. I mean, if she did, it wasn't anything that you disclosed in your messages. So, this woman, when you met her, she was just already in a broken state. She was not in a position of wanting to change. And like I said, you thought that you could love her into that state. And survivors do that because a lot of us, and stemming from our toxicness, we want to save people. But we're not God. We're not God. And some situations are just above our heads. It really is. It's above our heads. It's out of our jurisdiction, and it's not for us to do. It is not your job to meet this drug addict and turn her into a wife. That's not God's best for you. That's not God's best for you. That's not the woman he's sending to you. That woman is still in the valley. And all she's going to do is what she did, pull you in the valley as well, and then leave you to pick up the pieces. And she doesn't have the capacity to help you pick up those pieces. If anything, she'll continue to break more pieces in your life, you know? And I'm sorry that you've had to learn this very hard lesson. And, you know, I'm not sure what it was about her that made you really want to go in so hard with her, even with all of these cards that were stacked against her being able to pull and reciprocate and, you know, do her end of the bargain here. So what was it about her that you were attracted to? And, you know, this is going to be a part of your shadow work and trying to figure that out. Why were you able to tolerate this relationship and get it all the way to the level of being engaged and purchasing a home? These are things that you really have to consider. Why were you willing? And I know what you're going to say. I loved her. I loved her. But you came into the situation that way. You know, you came into the situation accepting, you know, all this brokenness about her, but it was beyond brokenness. It's just sheer toxicness as well. So what made it okay from the gate? You know, your standards. And I understand you probably fell into one of the pitfalls that a lot of survivors do, where, you know, we're trying to work with people. We're trying to give people benefits of the doubt. We're trying to see the best. You seen what she could be, even though she wasn't that. And we can't make decisions and moves based off of that, unfortunately. You know, you want more for her than she wants for herself, than she was even willing to do at that point. But then we have on those rosy colored glasses when that happens. And this enables us to stay in narcissistic abusive relationships. Because we're remembering the love bomb phase and how sweet it felt then. But in reality, their real patterns are this, X, Y, and Z. So, you know, actions are always going to speak louder than words. Actions always have to take that weight. And this was a really unfortunate situation. And now, you know, after she's played with him while her husband was in jail, and as soon as the husband is released, you know, oh, I don't need you to take care of me anymore. You know, I'm with this person now. This is the love of my life. This is my best friend. This is my everything. But like I said, birds of a feather flock together. They are for each other right now because they're both about the same things. The drugs, that lifestyle, that's who she's compatible with right now. She's not trying to be in a healthy space. She's not trying to change. So yeah, she's going to tell everybody around her what she needs to tell them to feel better, but you don't know how many of them are doing drugs and living a certain lifestyle themselves. You really just don't know. Okay? So people sometimes, you know, they're going to be partial because she's the one that they know. Chances are they're not going to turn against her and take your side. She's the one that they know. They're her friends. They're her family. Why would they side for you, even if they see her addiction? Maybe they'll do that privately with her, but they're not going to do it to your face. But it's good, you know, as I go down these messages, I believe you said you've blocked her. Let me just get to that point. You said you've binge watching videos, many videos. Okay. And you've isolated yourself for 3 months. And your doctor is possibly thinking about putting you on prescriptions. Maybe you have some type of PTSD going on, or your depression. Sometimes people get prescribed medications to help fight with their depression, to numb them out in a certain sense. And, you know, narcissists, they always leave you to pick up the pieces. All right, so let me see something here. I sent him a bunch of videos to help him. All right. And then he says the husband part kills him, and he hated that man, or basically he hates her husband. And you know what it stands for, because everything was a lie from day one, is what he's saying. And that's the worst part. So he's also saying after 12 days of her disappearing, she messages him on Facebook about her engagement ring that she probably wants to pawn for money to get drugs. I show it and tell her I made a prop sell, and she says it's okay. Okay. And after 3 minutes, she blocked him on Facebook, and they haven't spoken again. Okay. I'm just reading this. She knew it was about the future. I got the home, the money. Why leave me when we hit the goal? Okay, so he's still like not understanding why she would leave with the healthier situation and run back to the toxic one, because that is where she is right now. She's, you know, like I said, she's not trying to change, sweetie. She's not trying to get off the drugs. She's not trying to have a healthy lifestyle with you. She's not really trying to make a fresh start. And even though that would be best for her, she's not ready for that. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to stay on her drugs. She wants to stay surrounded by the people that will enable that. So that is what her husband, who sells the meth, will do for her. Okay? She never wanted a real relationship. You made the relationship very real by getting that engagement ring and buying the house, and it was getting too real. Narcissists, they're in fantasy land, especially one like this that's hooked up on drugs. She didn't really want that. It sounded good. She was just saying what sounded good. It made her conscience feel better, but as you can see, she did everything the complete opposite, because how she really felt and where she really is what she was saying. Okay, yes, it was. You know, he's saying it's all fake. It was real because her actions were real. Her words were lies. Her words weren't consistent, but her actions actually were. That was real. It's just that sometimes we don't want to accept it, and then when someone tells us what we want to hear, and because that's what we want so bad, we're holding on to that even though everything else is showing us otherwise. Okay? Narcissists have no empathy. So all this chapter 11 that he's going through right now, and all the money and time and energy, his emotions that got caught up with her, she don't care. She probably was high and on drugs through most of this relationship, not even in her right mind. She's never attached to you emotionally, unfortunately. But you formed that emotional attachment to her, and that's why you're hurting right now. She was never emotionally invested or financially. Everything was, you took all of the risks. She took not one risk. You know, I'm reading these messages. She didn't take one risk to be with you. It was all on you. All right, so that's why she ran back to her husband. And he was like, she knew I was serious with the bank loan. She knew about it all. And she did him and his family dirty. Right. They have no empathy, sweetie. Her husband is dysfunctional like her, and that is her comfort zone. She's not trying to improve or upgrade. She is rejecting your love and your help, and you can't make a horse drink water. You definitely can't make her love you. Let her stay in the wilderness. That's just the season she is in, and she may be in that season forever. And, wait for a woman that deserves you and will appreciate your efforts. Okay. And then the survivor is just pointing out how her husband married a 16-year-old. Married a 16-year-old. But now he's in his 50s and the 16-year-old is in the 30s, okay? And he's saying she can run her game and act like a victim with him. Yeah. I don't even think she has to act like a victim with him. Like, she's just going to be the drug addict with him and he'll be the supplier. So he's saying, I'm just continuing down the thread here, guys. So why did the family attack me knowing she messed up? Even when I presented evidence, they would kill for a devil and allow a rapist to have her as a wife. Like I said, birds of a feather flock together, and, we don't know, she's been through a lot. Her family might be just as toxic as her, okay? But even if they do understand her faults and her errors of her ways, they may not, they may not want to show you that. That may be something behind closed doors, all right? So, yes, a narc will return to an old supply because that is the kind of supply she wants. She doesn't want what you're trying to give her. I mean, she might have said it and it sounded good, but it's not what she wanted. And that's how a narcissist can return back to a different supply that will enable them to be what they want to be. Her false self wanted to have a fresh start and that sounded good, but her true self is a drug addict strung out on drugs that wants to stay there. So, that false self, that's just a mask. She has to be able to be herself. She can't have a life partner or someone that's her partner being all healthy. She needs to be able to drop her mask with you and be who she really is. And if you're not trying to get high with her or allow her to get high and supply her drugs and let her remain in that space, she's going to bounce out of there, okay? She's going to bounce out of there. Now, this is really my first video that I have that's really, just talking about NPD and substance abuse. Okay. So, I hope that this is giving the viewer some insight into what's going on here, because he really, really was baffled and couldn't understand why, with all the great things that he was offering her he was offering her an opportunity to get better, to get well, to get clean. And why wouldn't she take it? And not only wouldn't she take it, but she ran back into the arms of the people that would enable her to stay toxic and even spiral further down from where she is now. She's just not in that space of being ready to get clean. But, hopefully you can focus on the things that I was mentioning to you about your shadow work and why you was attracted to this woman, why you deemed her fit to have a serious relationship with, why you were able to stay with her for so long. Obviously, there may be a soul tie that needs to be broken in this case. And, hold on a second here, guys. A trauma bond that needs to be broken. And, just stepping out of denial, and being real with yourself. not what you hoped it could be, not what she said she wanted, but just, the facts of what she was showing you. All right, that's what you have to walk in. And, you're just going to have to roll up your sleeves like you've been doing right now so that you can clean up this situation, okay? So that you can clean up this situation. I hope that this helps you. All is not lost. You're going to take some lessons from this. You're going to recover from this bankruptcy. And you're going to move on with your life, okay? But please stay no contact from this person who has, clearly devastated your life on so many levels. And, if you want to get personal coaching with me, I could definitely help you with that. And yes, please stop seeing that therapist that you were seeing. That was horrible. That was really horrible. She went against you for some reason, and I don't understand why she would do that if you were telling her the information that you told me. All right. But yeah, I hope that this helps you. This situation definitely had a lot going on. But like I said, it was over your head, sweetie. It was a tall order, and you weren't equipped to take this woman on, but she wasn't even in a place of wanting to be taken on. That's the whole thing. And you wanted to believe that she wanted to get better, but she only said it, and she never actually showed you that. All right, so we have to go off of actions. We have to in life. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there. And, God bless you. God bless you. All right. God bless you. God bless you. So if this video resonates with anyone, you can go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Narcissistic abuse is a very serious thing. I don't make light of that. I've heard all types of situations, and people are really hurting out here, and even suicidal. I've heard many of people, and I understand that. And I've made videos to address that. As a matter of fact, I have a motivational playlist, guys, that can uplift you when you're having those dark moments. But I've also made specific videos that have dealt with that. And I'm going to create that playlist after I upload this video. And maybe I'll call it suicide prevention, perhaps. But yes, you want to listen to the motivational playlist, but I will make a playlist. Maybe I'll call it narcissistic abuse and suicide. We'll call it that. The prevention playlist is really that motivational playlist that I have. Motivational playlist for survivors of narcissistic abuse. Check that out, okay? This situation had a lot going on. It really did. It really did. And the whole time I'm just wondering, what within this survivor that made it okay from the rip to be a part of this situation. And I know that a lot of times we want to rescue. All right. So I don't want to repeat anything that I've already said, and I don't want to digress here, but hopefully this helps you, sweetie. And please stay strong. You're part of the support group. You can always reach out to me. Never feel like you're alone. And, all is not lost. You have some pieces to pick up, and you are picking them up. You are picking them up, and I commend you for your bravery of doing that. But all is not lost, sweetie, and things will get better. We just have to get this. It's going to be a process. Cleaning all of this up is going to be a process. Not only cleaning up and picking up these pieces, but also doing your shadow work, sweetie. Okay? So thank you for everyone that's tuning in. Thank you for all that support this channel. We are just over 5,000 subscribers now, and I'm very pleased with the growth of this channel. It definitely encourages me to continue to put content up. Okay? So again, I hope that this video helps you, viewer, my viewer requester, and also other subscribers that are listening to this and going through similar situations. And you can learn from this person's situation, even if you are not in this particular situation yourself, so that you aren't in this particular situation yourself. Okay, this person has learned the hard way and you don't have to. And if you have met a narcissist that is strung out on drugs, getting high, and having this unhealthy lifestyle, and they aren't showing you, keyword, that they're ready to leave that behind, then you're going to have to really take a look at that, because you could end up in a similar situation. Okay, and I don't want to see that. And I'm sure this person would love other people to take this example to spare themselves. All right. So guys, I have over 300 videos on this channel. Please watch them and take what you can. I put them all into playlists to help you find different subjects and topic matters in regards to narcissistic abuse. I do offer coaching, guys, and I do this over the phone. I do Skype. I do FaceTime via WhatsApp, and I also do emailing. You can go to LakiaCrawford.com to see the whole menu of services that I provide. And if you see something that you want, you can just PayPal the fee or Cash App the fee to me, and then email me 2 dates and times that you would like to do your session, and please indicate your time zone. Okay. Other than that, guys, I have books on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon.com that will help you heal from a toxic relationship, narcissistic abuse, help you in doing your shadow work and self-discovery. I do recommend that you read them in order, and that is the X Factor Volume 1, the X Factor Volume 2, The Beauty of the Eye, and then for those of you who have experienced sexual abuse, I did write a book called Silent Tears to help with that, to help speak to the emotional and psychological aspect of that and help bring you further healing, or begin to provide healing beyond just the pamphlets of statistics that you would typically find in a doctor's office. There's writing exercises and therapeutic things inside the book to help you with your healing in that situation as well. Or if you know someone, it would be a great gift to them as well. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It really took me a lot longer. We're approaching 45 minutes here to get through this viewer requested video, but boy, was there a lot going on and some points that I really wanted to make here. All right, so hopefully, again, this resonated with someone, and particularly the viewer that requested it. All right, thank you, sweetie, for tuning in, and God bless you.